Hello, every pony, and welcome back to Fandom Fridays, where we proceed to check out all the fanfics that are not pony related. Why? Because I'm not doing Ghostbusters until Sunday, and you know it. Guys, as much as we want to do the rest of Ghostbusters, we gotta remember that the point of Fandom Fridays is to check out all the other fanfics that exist out there. And, there are some pretty good ones if you give it a chance. I mean, we've had checked out some pretty good ones on this show, and some of them have been great crossovers. Some of them haven't been really bad. So that brings me to the question of what I'm going to get out today. As we look at today's father, Waking Dreams, a Scooby Doo and Supernatural crossover. Enjoy! Waking Dreams by Love Them Winchesters. Some days I love it when I actually encounter a screen name that makes sense on fanfiction.net. Chapter 1, only chapter. Dean was on the bed, 3 pillows propped up behind him. Yes, one was stolen from Stan's bed. It caused a pretty manly pillow fight, which Dean won, hands down. His legs were stretched out in front of him, with his feet crossed at the ankle. After nearly 20 minutes of flipping through the same 12 channels, Dean finally settled on a cartoon marathon. One of his favorites was on, Scooby Doo. Oh man, Dean, really? Sam whined from the table in the corner. He was trying to research their current job. Thelma was on screen and he heard, "Jinky, Saggy." He just rolled his eyes. Dean was such a goddamn kid sometimes.
Hey, I could have settled on the Gilmore Girls Marathon the other station. I know how you like your girly TV.
Dude, just... Sam shook his head and started shutting down his computer. It was getting late. He wasn't going to get anything else done.
Not with Scooby Doo being
Yelled across the room. Dean looked over at Sam's bed. All he saw was a lump under a pile of blue checkered blankets. The kid took all 5 minutes to get to sleep. Dean could never understand how Sam did that. He yawned and scooted down into bed a bit. There was a half bottle of liquor and beer on the nightstand next to him, and he drained it. When he put the empty bottle down, Dean noticed that it was nearing 2 in the morning. His eyes fell back onto the TV set. Scooby was still on. He could never get enough of that dog. Yeah, Dean didn't care for dogs in real life, but come on. This was Scooby, the world's coolest canine. He felt his eyes getting heavy and he blinked to clear them. The gang was finally going to pull that stupid mask off the bad guy, who would more likely say, "I would have gotten away with it too, if it weren't for you meddling kids." How freaking classic. A shadow moved and caught Dean's eye. When he looked up, he saw what looked like a small whirlwind of what? Sand? A pair of glowing eyes in the middle of it. The longer he looked, the more he could see a tattooed face start to form in the middle of the mist of swirling chaos. Then a hand moved, and the breath was blown. "Morpheus! How long, buddy?" Gene jumped as the dusting of sand went into his eyes. Sandman was his last thought as he fell into a deep sleep almost instantly. "Dean! Man! Wake up!" The elder Winchester woke up to Sam, shaking him by the shoulder.
"Dude, trying to catch some Z's here. Go away."
He tried to roll over. Sam punched him in the shoulder.
"Ow, you bitch!"
Dean sat up and wiped the sleep from his eyes.
"What the hell, Sam?"
"Did something happen last night that I should be aware of?" Dean looked up and saw Sam standing there with his arms crossed across his bare chest. He was fully dressed already, and Dean glanced at the clock. 1:34 p.m. Shit! It felt like he'd just fallen asleep 2 minutes ago. Almost 12 friggin' hours.
"No, why? Guess I was tired, that's all."
"We've got company, and I'm still trying to figure this one out." Sam stepped aside, and Dean blinked his eyes.
"No fucking way."
Sitting right there in front of him, head coming up to Sam's chest, was a big, brown, Great Dane with black spots. A blue collar ringed around his neck, and a gold diamond-shaped star right there with a big SD inscribed to the center of it. Dean stumbled backwards, and suddenly found himself falling off the side of the bed to the floor. "Fuck!" he yelled when he landed on his ass. Then caught his Sansa and Sam and said, "Row!" "Yeah, I think he's going to have a difficult time with this." Sam replied, "Hell, he was having a difficult time with this."
"Sam, a little help over here,"
came Dean's voice from the other side of the bed.
So, you are telling me you woke up this morning and he,
Dean's eyes drifted over to the dog, then back to Sam.
was just here. Is that really?
They were hitting a small table, and the dog was, too. Like a damn person. Yeah, it's him, Dean. Shit. He looked at the dog.
Scooby?
What? The dog looked back at the hunter, question on his face. Dean was speechless. So, I'm thinking you got hit by whatever this thing that we're here for?
You think, Sammy?
The words were laced with sarcasm. Scooby was at a table, packing down his 10th hamburger, and Dean eyed him. He liked the dog, but this was stressing things a bit. Go talk to him. He's not really that bad, Dean.
Me? Talk to a cartoon dog.
Well, you don't seem to be helping out with the research. I mean, you still haven't told me what happened last night.
I don't know what happened, Sam.
Dean shrugged, at a loss. He probably has memory, but all he remembered was falling asleep to that cartoon marathon. Then something started coming back.
Sam, shit, wait!
So, Sandman, huh? His stories have been around for millennia, but most of it is just that. Stories.
Sam, vampires, kappa, werewolves, mummies.
I get it, Dean, I get it. Sam drained the last of his latte and put the empty cup on the nightstand. Well, I'm going to need some time to see what I can pull up on him. He stood up in shreds. Why don't you and the Scoopster go for a ride?
Dean was afraid Sam was going to ask him to do that. Dude, dog. Dog plus Impala equal no. Not in my car. Nuh-uh.
The words were said in a whisper. Unfortunately, Scooby was not your typical dog. He had to be careful what he said around him. The answer earned Dean a patented Sammy bitch face, and Sam wasn't back down.
Fine. I'll take it to a park or something.
Dean couldn't believe he was doing this.
Call me if you find something. I'll be back later.
He pushed off at the bed and grabbed his coat and keys.
Come on, Scooby. We're going for a ride.
Scooby asked, looking at Dean from Sam's face in the front seat. It took Dean a second to translate.
Sam says he needs some time to get the gears rolling in that geek head of his. So we're going to the park.
Yeah, hold on for 2 seconds to figure that one out.
No, he's good.
They sat in uncomfortable silence while Dean drove. Finally, he had to ask,
Dude.
He turned to glance over at Scooby.
What's Daphne really like? Is she really that hot?
Oh, sweet baby Celestia, Dean!
Scooby looked at Dean and smiled.
Dean laughed.
Yeah, I thought so.
That broke the ice. They stopped at a hot dog stand on the way to the park. Dean brought 5 hot dogs. 1 for him, 4 for the dog. If they didn't figure this thing out soon, they were going to go broke. The dog really did eat like he did on TV. Thank God Shaggy didn't come to the boob tube. Then they'd be in trouble.
So, what do you remember before coming here?
Dean asked, as they walked a very quiet trail out into the woods. Where else could you hold a conversation with a talking dog? This wasn't Cartoon Land.
Listen. What?
Saying he came to a abrupt stop. Did he hear what he just heard?
Me and Sam? Where? You want us on television?
Scooby said once in a while. He gulped. Dean walked over to a fallen tree and sat down.
Let me get this straight. You and Shaggy were watching a marathon of me and Sam on TV. Then the Sandman got you too?
He helped you translate all of that correctly.
And now you're here.
Scooby looked a little sad at that.
You miss him, huh?
The hunter stood up and patted the dog on the head.
Well, pal, we'll get this fixed. Sam and I haven't run into anything that we can't handle. We'll get you home to the gang before you can see Skibby Snack.
Right, Train? I am loving this way more than I should.
Sam, you'll never kiss.
Dean stopped 3 feet into the motel room, but stumbled as Scooby crashed into him from behind. There were papers strewn all over the place, and Sam was in the middle of the floor.
What the hell happened here? A damn tornado?
I went to the library. They had quite a bit of info on this site.
Obviously.
Scooby slid around Dean and started nosing some people. Where's the room? Dean stepped over and took the piece that I was pointing out.
Really? Because my guy had tattoos on his head. He looked a lot fugglier than your dude.
Let me see. Sam reached out to take the picture from his brother. His brow hit a frown as he looked at it. I was afraid of that.
What?
Both Dean and Scooby said at the same time. It's not the Sandman per se, but a cousin of the thing, if you will. I think this thing's a cross between a Sandman and a Djinn.
So it's some sort of hybrid monster?
Technically speaking, Sam nodded. I think in our world, it's more Djinn, and in Scooby's world, it's more Sandman. A Sandman here is just a fable, and Djinn's and Scooby's world are just harmless genies. You know, three-wishes stuff.
And you figure all this out in what?
Sam looked at his watch. Dean looked at his watch.
4 hours? Damn, Sam, you're getting good at this research these days.
Well, we're not there yet. We need to find out where this thing is holed up, and we're going to have to get some lamb's blood. That's my best guess on killing this thing. But you're missing something here, Dean.
What? Next time, Jen, lamb's blood, silver's knife. The thing's going down, Sam.
Don't you remember what happened the last time you ran into a Djinn? He had you by the sword in Curly's. Sam glanced down Scooby and back to Dean. I think where we find a Djinn, we're going to find you. Dean thought back to the damn Djinn back in '07. Freaking bloodthirsty thing had him going for a while.
You mean?
Sam nodded as he nodded as well. Yeah, but this is a bit different. Maybe because of the Sandman interference, I think your dream world is happening in the real world, and I think Scooby here, more or less, is sleeping and truly dreaming until we kill this thing. He probably can't wake up in his world.
Now, if this isn't all kinds of fucked up crazy.
Scooby chimed in. Sam looked between the two. Clearly, his brother and Scooby had bonded a little on their excursion.
Oh, hey, while we're at, let me throw something else in.
Dean glanced at Scooby, then back to Sam.
Listen to this. In their world, Scooby's a big fan of me and you. Dude, we're on TV over there. He was watching a marathon of us when he fell asleep. I think, though, some quantum physics or something, that's how we magically bumped into each other.
Seriously? Sam looked surprised. And then grinned. Are we cartoon or real? Dean drifted an eyebrow down at Scooby. That thought hadn't even occurred to him earlier. Scooby frowned. What else?
Dude, we're cartoons. I'd love to see that.
Are you kidding? The anime's awesome.
Scoob, next time there's a marathon, call me up. You, me, and the Shags can hang out a few beers.
Dean! Sam could only picture Dean corrupting one of the cartoon's legends.
What? It'd be fun, Sammy.
Oh man, why couldn't Dean have fallen asleep during a marathon of Avatar or My Little Pony? Twilight could handle this in a second. It was nearly midnight, and the three were sitting outside an abandoned warehouse, dusty outskirts of town. They spent the evening correlating the attacks with the empty buildings in the area, and this was their best guess. Scooby was sitting in the back seat, paws up on the front between Sam and Dean's shoulders.
What's the upholstery, dog?
Dean warned, looking back at their third partner for the night. Scooby looked at the hunter and dropped him. Rory!
You ready?
The elder Winchester asked, glancing over at Sam, who was holding a silver knife dripped in lamb's blood. Dean had his own as well.
Yeah, I'm good. And you?
Dean glanced back at his shoulder, lifted an eyebrow when he noticed a tremble going through the dog.
You can always sit here if you want.
Roar! Scooby shook his head. No. There's no way he was staying here all alone with a monster on the prowl. The brothers opened their door simultaneously and got in the car. Dean opened the door back for Scooby. Why is that cool? That should not be cool! That should not be funny! I should not be enjoying that! But Sleek Baby Celestia, if I'm not. The image in my head is priceless!
Come on, dude. When this is all over, I bet Freddy or someone has a whole bag of Scooby snacks waiting for you. They should probably have a couple of boxes for you if I know Shaggy.
The dog's ears perked up at that. He wasn't sure if it was Scooby Snacks or Shaggy that did it, but whatever worked, Scooby jumped out of the car and headed off. Run! Dean glanced at Sam over the roof of the car and caught a dumb smile.
Shut up.
He spun and followed the dog. Sam was right on his heels. Dean, we can't split up. You know how powerful Djinns are.
Sam, this place is huge. Listen, according to you, I'm not me. I'm Dream Me. My real body's probably hanging somewhere dying right now. I, being me right here, can't die. If I do, I'll just wake up, right? That's how it worked last time. So it's safer if you two go together. Fussy tears his bags. Then Dean smirked. You make a bear shaky anyway, hippie boy. Dude, Sam sighed. Dean had a point. Yeah, Sam does make a bear shaky because he's taller.
The real Dean was out there somewhere, waiting for them to find him. Fine. If we don't find anything in 15 minutes, let's meet back here.
You got it.
Dean said, then ran off down the dark, dilapidated hallway, flashlight beam bouncing over the walls. Sam went to Scooby. I guess it's you and me then. Let's go. They headed in the opposite direction, away from Dean. The younger Winchester hoped he was right about all this. If not, that was the real Dean running away, not worrying about dying. Dean had been wandering down the endless maze of corridors. Something told him he was getting closer to what he was looking for. He found himself in a sub-basement, 2 levels down below ground level. His only light was sent from a dimming flashlight.
Come on, berries. You can make it.
He gave the flashlight a few hard taps, and it came back to life, a little bit. Probably about 200 feet down an endless corridor, he came to a turnoff. As he did, he glanced at his watch. 20 minutes had gone by. Damn, Sam was going to be worried. Too late now. Dean felt like he was getting close. He took a look at his cell phone to see if there was any signal down here. He could call Sam, but yeah, nothing down here. The device was useless as a rock in a glass house. Dean kept going. A noise behind him had Dean stopping in his tracks, ears listening. He switched off his flashlight and waited for his eyes to adjust to the darkness. Something small and black ran across the floor.
Rats! Oh god, not rats.
The hunter moved forward again, switching the flashlight back on. Sam and Scooby eventually came to a dead end, the direction he had gone in. The roof had collapsed in this part of the building, and he could go no further. Sam looked at his watch. It had been less than 10 minutes since he split up from Dean. He moved quickly so he could catch up with him. Well, we can't go any further this way. Let's go back the other way, see if I can find my brother. So far, the dog had been keeping pace with Sam, even if he just stayed several feet behind him. But Sam knew from the cartoons, he probably wasn't going to be able to depend on the dog once the shit hit the fan. And Scooby had a bad habit of finding trouble too. Almost like Dean. They passed their waypoint and continued on to the darkness. Sam could hear Scooby starting to whine behind him, and his urge to keep going. Hey, Scooby, just remember, Shaggy's at the other end of this, okay? I know you don't like this, but we gotta keep going.
Right, Ram!
Scooby tried to give a show of confidence that he didn't have, his tail already hanging low, betraying that front. Hallway split, and Sam shined light on the floor. You could see Dean's footprints head off in one direction, but they doubled back and went, instead, toward the interior of the building. This way. Dean poked his head behind several doors. Most of the rooms held old, defunct generators and nothing more. He continued his way down the tunnel. Was he starting to think of the long hallway as? He came to a solid metal door at the end. He noticed the hinges were rusted, but that rust had been broken loose. Someone had been using this door recently.
God, if my buddy's down there.
This thought gave him the chills. If he died deep down in the depths of this place, no one would find him. That was just disturbing. The door opened with a loud, protesting groan. Dean cringed, knowing that particular noise could be heard a mile away. But he didn't stop. He knew he was going right in the direction. He stepped beyond the door. That's when his flashlight gave out.
Damn it!
Dean hissed and beat the thing a few times. Nothing. Fuck! He tucked the flashlight into his coat pocket and tightened his grip on the silver blade of sand.
Come out, wherever you are,
Dean mumbled to the darkness. And that's exactly what he did. Sam and Scooby followed the dusty footprints to the first 5 stairs. On the first landing, the hunters kept going down. Scooby saw it too.
Ruh!
He shook his head. No.
Roaring!
Sitting up, Scooby crossed his arms and eyes.
Roar scary!
Damn it! Sam didn't have time to his crap. He knew it was coming, though. Actually, he was surprised it didn't happen sooner. Scooby, you like Dean, don't you?
Rah!
And you do know where Dean is? Scooby saw.
Wow! Wow!
He gestured with his head and turned downstairs. Yeah, he is. Do you know what's going to happen to my brother if we don't go down there? Curly Ovalcup was.
Right?
Yeah, he's going to die. I need to go down there. Now you can either come or stay. It's up to you. I won't force you, but I don't have time to argue. Sam turned and started down the rickety metal steps, following where Dean had disappeared not more than a few minutes ago. Dean got slammed against the wall, with an old familiar glow right from his face. He wasn't certain what it would do to his dream self, but he wasn't willing to find out. He brought out his knife between himself and the djinn, and the creature's eyes widened a blue light into sight. He step and released Dean from his hold. He entered the eerie glow. Dean could see a form he knew too well. It was himself hanging upright, toes scuffling the ground, arms outstretched overhand, tied to a beam high in the ceiling. An IV needle jammed to his neck, with a line running down into a bag full of blood. He had time to see that before it went dark. Oh, hell. He held the knife up in front of him and slid along the wall, keeping to his back as he moved towards where he saw to himself. This seriously sucks. Sam heard Scooby Doo falling down the stairs behind him and smiled. It's not like the dog wasn't used to this crap. I guess the difference was that in his world, all the baddies were just people dressed up in costumes. Here, well, it was a little different. The creatures were actually creatures that killed. He hoped Scooby wouldn't be irreverently messed up from seeing anything that was more likely going to happen. They finally made it to the bottom of the stairs. A long corridor lay before them. Dean's footprints followed the length of it. Sam picked up the pace and fell into a jog. This was just the type of place a djinn would hang out in. He had a bad feeling about this. It was like one of those dreams where you're running down an endless corridor, and the end never seemed to get any closer. Sam felt like miles had passed behind him by the time he had reached what looked like an old floor at the very end. It dawned on Sam that this place was near the harbor. The engineers probably knew there was a risk digging these tunnels and hallways so close to the water. There was no other reason to have a door like this down here. Dean's footprints went right through it. Sam stopped when they got to the door. It took Scooby a second to catch up with him. You good? The dog nodded. He eyed the door warily. Yeah, listen. You can stay out here if you want. It's going to get hairy in there. Scooby looked between Sam and the door. Roar! Okay, what? It didn't really matter at this point. Dean was in there. I'll be back. I promise. Sam stepped through the pitch black. That was a bad sign. Dean should have had his flashlight on wherever he was. But there was no light at all. Nothing beyond the small beam of his own flashlight. Was being overwhelmed by the darkness. His other senses kicked in as he swept the void with his flashlight. He smelled copper. Blood. He heard heavy breathing coming from somewhere. Dean's voice was shouting.
Sam, get out of here, dude!
Did Dean really think he'd run? Hell no! Dean! Sam called out to his brother. He ran further into the room. That's when he ran into the real Dean's body, hanging limping in the darkness. Shit! Sam reached up and pulled the IV needle free from him, and then used his silver knife to cut Dean down. When he got his brother to the floor, he tried to rouse him, but he wouldn't come to. Dean, come on, wake up! He smacked the man's cheek slightly. No response. Why wouldn't he wake up? Suddenly, Sam knew what was about to happen. He stood up and turned towards Dream Dean. It was still scuffling with the djinn. The creature had his hands up front in front of the man, trying to do this Vulcan mind meld, or whatever it was it did. The thing had to know Sam was there, but Dean was doing his best to keep him busy, keeping his attention off Sam. At the last minute, Sam raised the knife in the air. The djinn spun. In the midst of the motion, he picked Dean up and threw him across the floor, leaving the elder hunter staring and breathless for the moment. Sam couldn't move quickly enough. The djinn was in a heartbeat, the ice cold heat hovering over his forehead. No, 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 no! If he got taken down, this would be the end. The djinn was too strong. He held his wrist immobile, squeezed until the knife fell from his hand. Fuck! Suddenly, in a flurry of black and brown fur, the djinn was knocked away from Sam. Scooby! The younger Winchester reclaimed his knife from the floor, and the dog saying, Scooby, look out! Sam attacked with the blade, driving it force deep into the shoulder of the djinn. It held in his plane, and the blue light flashed in his eyes, died out as it too died. His body melted into a pile of sand. Sam had just enough time to look at Scooby as the dog blinked out of existence. Bloop! Thanks, Scooby. A groan came from somewhere behind Sam. He spun on his heel, still catching his breath from the recent encounter. He didn't like what he saw, because his earlier hunts had appeared to be true. This was going to kill him. Andy the djinn sent Scooby back, but it didn't fix Dean. The last time Dean went through this, he had to kill himself in the dream to release himself. Sam slowly walked across the floor to Dream Dean and knelt down beside him. It's dead, Dean. Scooby's gone. He went back to Cartoon Land. Sam could see the blood dripping from Dean's mouth. More than could be considered okay. Dean, man, you okay? He noticed his brother wasn't moving much. He was hunched over in field position.
Yeah, I'm fine, Sam. That's awesome, as a matter of fact.
More blood bubbled out of his mouth as he was struggling to breathe.
Dean?
Sam pushed Dean over onto his back and saw it. The hilt of Dean's knife was sticking out of his chest. At the rate Dean was bleeding, there was no saving him.
Oh, God. Dean. No!
Sam started tearing at his overshirt to try and stop the flow of blood.
No, Sam. I'm not real.
Dean coughed. More blood poured out of his mouth. His eyes rolled towards the real Dean.
He is. He'll be fine.
Sam's hands were sticky and hot with Dean's blood. He knew this wasn't the real Dean, but it was still Dean. Dean was dying right in front of him. Dean. Sam had nose tears pouring down his face. Don't die. Please. He grabbed Dean's hand and held it, squeezing it. Dean screamed back, and then there was no more. Dean. The body of Sam wavered and dissolved and fell in air, leaving the silver blade in his wake. It was like deja vu. A groan was heard from behind Sam. He wiped the stinging tears out of his eyes and jumped to his feet to run over to the other real Dean.
Sammy?
Yeah, I'm here, Dean.
Dude, I just had the weirdest dream.
Dean stood his head up.
Where the hell are we? And why do I hurt so much?
He went down his neck where the needle previously resided and flinched.
Don't tell me. Jen?
Sam nodded into darkness. Come on, let's get you out of here. This place just gives me the creeps.
Yeah, okay, just help me up.
It took a while willpower for the brothers to make it back to the car, but they did, eventually. Sam opened the passenger side door and helped Dean get into the seat. I'll get you a bottle of water from the trunk.
Sir, Sam.
Dean rested his head back on the seat and closed his eyes. As he did, he felt something in his left hand. He picked it up and forced himself to open his eyes. It was a blue collar with a golden name tag on it. SD. Scooby Doo.
Son of a bitch.
Carry on, my wayward son. There will be peace when you are done. Okay. Well, more of a supernatural story than with just Scooby Doo crossing over. This did feel like a fun little short supernatural story with Dean and Sam encountering a random monster, having to deal with some sort of character, some sort of shenanigans, and then solving it. Honestly, truth be told, it felt like an anime episode, and I just love it. Kind of wish we did see Scooby return to his home world, though. But, still for what it's worth, this story was fun, imaginative, and enjoyable. And, sometimes, that's all you need for a good story. Short, sweet, and to the point. That was one down. Thousands more to go. I'll see you next time.